to start looking at some data analysis topics. So we're going to look at mean, median, mode, and range, and then we're going to take a look at stem and leaf plots. Okay, so the first word is mean. That is the average. It's the sum of the values divided by the number of values. That's how you would find your average in school of your test scores or something like that. The median, that's the middle numbers. So we're going to put them in order from lowest to highest, and we're going to find the middle number. If it's an even number and there's 2 in the middle, then we're going to take the average of those 2. The mode is the one that occurs the most often, and we can have no modes, or we can have one, or we could have several. It really just depends on the data. And the last one for right now is the range, and that's taking the greatest value and the least value and finding the difference between the two. So we want to write the numbers in order first, and then we want to make sure that we compare them to make sure we didn't forget a number. All right, so let's take a look at our first data set. I took these numbers and I put them in order. 90 is the lowest and 133 is the highest. Now we're going to find the 4 data points. Now the mean, I added them all up and I got 774 divided by 7, and you get about 110.6. That's the average. The median is the middle number. So I have 7 numbers. So 3 from the left, 3 from the right. The middle number there is 110. The mode is the number that appears most often. So if you look at the data point, every number is there just once. So in that case, we say that there is no mode. There's none. Okay, then we're going to talk about the range, which is 133, the highest, minus 90, which is our lowest, and the range there is 43. All right, let's take a look at another set. In this case, there's only 6. Again, I put them in order already. The mean is I'm going to take 515 divided by 6, and that gives me about 85.8. The median is the middle number. So because I have an even amount, these two numbers are the middle. The middle is somewhere between there. So I'm going to add 85 and 88 together, divide by 2. So my median there is 86.5. My mode is the number that's there the most often. In this case, 95 is there twice. It's the only one. So my mode is 95. And my range is 95 minus 72, which is going to give me 23. Okay, so that's the basics. Now let's look at some more advanced keystone type questions or some word problems, however when you want to look at it. So in this question, it says the mean of a set of PSSA scores was 86. So that's the mean. And the median was 87, which is the correct test scores. So in this case, we would have to find the mean and the median for all 4 data sets and decide which one's right. Now, the median is always going to be the easier one, right? Because I just have to look kind of at the middle. So let's see if we can eliminate any. If I look at each set of data scores, they're already in order. So in letter A, it looks like 87 is the median. In letter B, it looks like 86 is the median. In C, the median is also 87. Now for letter D, our median, our middle number is 86. Okay, so let's go back and see what they're asking. They're asking for the median of 87. So A is good, C is good, B and D, I can just cross off, and now I don't have to find the mean for those 2. Now remember, we're going to add them all up and divide by the number of test scores. So when we do that for letter A, we get the mean is 87.1. And letter C, we get the mean is 86. So again, I look back to what they're asking, and they want the mean of 86 and the median of 87, and that is letter C. All right, now we're going to go on to a stem and leaf plot. And what that is, it's a graphic display where each data value is split into a leaf, which is usually the last digit. So you can look at this example here. And then a stem is all other digits. So for instance, here are the data points used. So for instance, when we want 56, we go a 5 there in the beginning, and then we do a 6. So that's how you read that. That's 56. Now, again, the nice thing about this display, it does give you a great quick visual of where the test scores are. I can see there's a lot of scores in the 20s. I can see there's no scores in the 60s. I can see the highest is a 71. So there's a lot of ways you can see that. That will be helpful. Okay, so let's take a look. It says a stem and leaf plot is created. What's the mode? So that is the value that is there the most often, which again, the way it's displayed, you can kind of see this is the number that's there the most often. So it's 21. Now our median is going to be our middle number. So what we have to do is we're going to take some from the front and some from the back and figure out somewhere in here is probably where our median is going to be. So let's just say I'm going to do 5 from the front. I'm going to cross them off. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get 3 in the front. 1, 2, 3. Here's 1, 2, 3. And I go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So here's my middle number. So my middle number there is going to be 27. Now, my mean is my average. So when you're doing that, you can do it one of two ways. You can either look at the stem and leaf, or you can look at the original data points. But again, when I add them all up and I divide by the number of scores there are, which is 23, the mean is going to be 30.4. Okay, so my range again is going to be the highest value, which I can see is 71, and my lowest value is 11. So 71 minus 11, my range is going to be 60. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. It says use the stem and leaf plot to answer the following questions. So again, just kind of looking at it. So we're talking about test scores here. Okay, the best score looks like there's 100. And how many students took the test? Well, we'd have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. If you count them all up, there is 30 students that took the test. And then it's asking for how many students scored 90, exactly 90. It looks like there's 2 right there. It said how many students scored in the 80s. So we'd have to look here and count those up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like 9 students were in the 80s. And then it asks you for the mode. So now the mode, let's see. I don't see anything that has more than 2, but there are several that have 2 scores. So there's 2 there. So 61 is a mode. Let's see what else we have. Nothing in the rest of the 60s, nothing in the 70s. In the 80s, I can see that there's 2 86s, there's 2 87s. So you have 86 and 87. In the 90s, I can see that there's 2 that got exactly 90, 2 that got 99. So I have 90 and I have 99. And then again, there's 2 that's in the hundreds. So in that case, there are a lot of modes. Okay, looking at the next one, it says, what is the median of the data in the stem and leaf plot? So again, the thing about this one that's a little bit different, look at the key. Okay. I always have 1 digit in my leaf part, but my stem part, it's not listed as 247. It would be 24.7. So they're giving you an example there. So let's see where we are in the middle. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the back, and I go 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here, it looks like 25 and 8. So it's narrowed down to C and D. But again, I got to go back to the key, and that one has a decimal is really what it is. So it's 25.8. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. It says Carrie's 4th marking period tests are as follows. And they want to know the mean, median, and mode. So the first thing I did, those numbers were not in order, so I put them in order. The mean, again, I'm going to add them all up and divide them. There are 6 scores. I'm going to add them by 6, and my mean is 86.7. My mode, it looks like 84 is there twice, so that's my mode. And my middle number is going to be between 84 and 88. So if I were to divide them up or divide by 2, or kind of take a visual and see the number in the middle of that one is 86. Okay, looking at the next question says, what must Carrie score on the next test to have an 88% average? Right now she has an 86.7. So let's see what she needs. So the first thing we would do is count up the scores she has so far, which is 6. So if she were to take one more test, that would be 7 tests. So let's just say to get an 88 average would be like getting an average, an 88 on every single test. It doesn't have to work out that way, but that's how we need to do the points. You multiply those and you get 616. That's how many points she needs. Okay, let's figure out what she has. So you're going to add all these values up in all her previous tests. And she has 520. So this is what she has. So when I subtract them, that's what she needs on the next test. She needs a 96 in order to get her 88% average. Okay, let's take a look at the last one. It says Jake scores, and then they're listed. What must he score in the next test to have a median, right? So now we're talking about the middle number. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite all of the scores in order. And we're talking about the median, which is the middle number. That's 88. Now, they want a median of 90, so that we know that we need to go higher, right? Because the median of 90 is higher than 88. Well, I realize that 90, right now the present median is 88, and I realize that 90 is 2 points. 90 is 2 points from 88, which is what the present median. So let's see what happens if I go 2 points on the other end and I make that 92 to be his score. So let's see what happens. If I slide 92, which would appear right there, what would the median be there? If I'm off, I can always adjust, right? So I have 2 scores on the left, 2 scores on the right. If these are my middle 2 numbers, then yeah, 90 is going to be right in the middle of that. So the score he needs is a 92. Okay, thanks so much for stopping by today. You have a great day.